He didn't recognize the powerful woman at the charity gala, and he certainly didn't realize she was the ex-wife he had left to rot in prison years ago. I remember the day Damon asked me to marry him. He held my hand. He looked into my eyes. He said I was special. He said I was the only woman who understood him. I felt so happy. I said yes. We got married in spring. We lived in a small house. The house was nice. We did not have much money, but we were happy. Damon worked hard every day. He wanted to be successful. He wanted to build a big business. I supported him. I believed in him. Damon was smart. He worked for a big company. He met important people. He made big deals. His boss liked him. Everyone said Damon had a bright future. I was proud of him. Then everything changed. One night, Damon came home late. His face was white. His hands shook. He could not look at me. I asked him what was wrong. He said nothing at first. Then he started to cry. I never saw him cry before. I got scared. He told me about a problem. There was a big scandal. Money went missing from the company. The police wanted to ask questions. Damon said people blamed him. He said he did not do it, but he needed help. I asked him what kind of help. He said he needed time. He said the company needed someone to take responsibility. Someone had to say they did it, just for a short time. Then, everything would be okay. I did not understand. I asked him to explain. He said the company wanted to blame someone. If no one took the blame, the whole company would close. Many people would lose their jobs. Damon would lose everything. His career would end. The next night was cold. Rain fell outside. Damon sat at the table. He had papers in front of him. He asked me to sit down. His voice was quiet. His eyes were red. He showed me the papers. He said it was an agreement. The agreement said I took the money. The agreement said I made the mistake. Damon said it was the only way. He promised it was temporary. He said he would save me. He said we would start over together. He said we had to do this for our future. I felt sick. I could not believe his words. But Damon was my husband. I loved him. He was everything to me. I had a secret, too. I was pregnant. I carried our baby inside me. I wanted to tell Damon, but this was not the right time. I thought I would tell him later. I thought everything would be okay. Damon took my hand. He begged me. He said he needed me. He said I was the only person he could trust. He said our love was strong. He said we could survive anything together. I looked at the papers. My hand shook. I picked up the pen. I signed my name. Damon hugged me. He said thank you. He said he loved me. He promised to protect me. 2 days later, the police came. They knocked on our door early in the morning. Damon opened the door. He let them inside. They showed me a paper. They said I had to go with them. They said I broke the law. I looked at Damon. He stood in the corner. He did not come close. He did not hold my hand. He did not look at my face. He just stood there in the shadows. The police put handcuffs on my wrists. The metal felt cold. They walked me to the door. I turned back one last time. I wanted to see Damon. I wanted him to say something, but he stayed in the shadows. They took me outside. Rain fell on my face. I got into the police car. I looked back at our house. I saw Damon in the window. He still did not look at me. I whispered the words, Nobody heard me, but I said them anyway. I trust you. The car drove away. I watched our house disappear. I touched my stomach. Our baby was there. Damon did not know. I would tell him soon. I believed he would save me. I believed in his promise. I believed in his love. Prison was cold. The walls were gray. The bed was hard. Other women lived there too. Some were angry. Some were sad. I tried to stay quiet. The first week was terrible. I could not sleep. I could not eat. My body hurt. My heart hurt more. I thought about Damon every day. I waited for him to visit. I waited for him to save me. Then one night, I woke up. I felt pain in my stomach. The pain was very bad. I called for help. A guard came. She took me to the prison doctor. The doctor looked at me. She asked me questions. I told her about the pain. She checked me. Then she stopped. Her face changed. She told me the truth. I lost the baby. I could not speak. I could not cry. I just lay there. The doctor said it happened because of stress. She said it happened because of shock. She said she was sorry. I went back to my cell. I lay on the bed. I put my hand on my stomach. The baby was gone. Our baby was gone. Damon did not even know. I never told him. Now I never could. That night I cried. I cried for hours. I cried until I had no tears left. Then I just lay in the dark. I felt empty inside. I did not tell Damon about the baby. I did not want to. The pain was mine. I kept it inside. I carried it alone. Damon came to visit me once. He sat on the other side of the glass. He looked tired. He said work was busy. He said his lawyer was working on my case. He said I should be patient. He stayed for 10 minutes. Then he left. He sent me letters after that. The first letters said he missed me. They said he was trying to help. They said I should stay strong. I read each letter many times. I held them close, but the letters came less often. 1 letter a week became 1 letter a month. The words became shorter. He stopped saying he loved me. He just talked about the weather. He talked about his work. Then the letters stopped completely. 3 months passed. No letters came. No visits came. I felt worried. I felt scared. Then one day a man came to see me. He wore a nice suit. He carried a briefcase. He said he was Damon's lawyer. He did not smile. He put papers on the table. He told me to read them. I looked at the papers. They were divorce papers. I asked him why. He said Damon needed to protect his image. He said the company needed Damon to look good. He said a wife in prison was bad for business. He said Damon wanted to move forward. I asked about Damon's promise. The lawyer said nothing. He just pushed the papers closer. He gave me a pen. He told me to sign. I signed the papers. My hand did not shake this time. I felt nothing. The lawyer took the papers and left. I never saw him again. I never saw Damon again either. One day I sat in the common room. Other women watched TV there. I usually did not watch, but that day I looked up. I saw Damon on the screen. He wore an expensive suit. He stood on a stage. People clapped for him. A woman stood next to him. She was beautiful. She wore a red dress. She smiled at the cameras. The TV reporter talked about Damon. She said his company was very successful. She said Damon was a rising star. She said the woman next to him was perfect for him. She said the woman was powerful. She said the woman was worthy of standing beside him. I stared at the screen. Damon looked happy. He looked free. He looked like he never had a wife. He looked like he never made a promise. He looked like I never existed. I understood everything then. I was never the woman he wanted. I was just useful for a time. I took the blame for him. I gave him my freedom. I lost our baby for him, and he threw me away like trash. I went back to my cell. I sat on the bed. I did not cry. I had no tears left. I just sat there in the dark. I looked at the gray wall. I looked at it for a long time. Something inside me died that day. The old Serafina was gone. The Serafina who loved Damon was gone. The Serafina who believed in promises was gone. A new Serafina started to grow. This Serafina was cold. This Serafina was hard. This Serafina did not cry. This Serafina did not trust. This Serafina only thought about one thing: survival. I made a promise to myself that night. I would get out of prison. I would build a new life, and Damon would see me again. But next time, I would be different. Next time, he would be the one who wanted me. Next time, I would be the one who said no. I stopped waiting for rescue. I started planning my future instead. They let me out of prison after 3 years. I walked through the gates alone. No one waited for me. No one came to pick me up. I stood on the street. I had no home. I had no money. I had nothing. I took the bus to the city. I found a cheap room to rent. The room was small and dirty, but it was mine. I slept on the floor the first night. I did not cry. I just planned my next move. I needed money. I needed a job. I walked to restaurants and hotels. I asked for work. Most places said no. They saw my prison record. They did not want me. Finally, one restaurant hired me. I washed dishes in the kitchen. The work was hard. My hands got red and sore. The pay was very low, but I did not complain. I watched everything. I listened to everything. I learned. I worked as a dishwasher for 6 months. Then I got a job as a cleaner. I cleaned offices at night. I saw how big companies worked. I read papers people left on their desks. I learned about business. I learned about money. I learned about power. I saved every dollar I earned. I bought new clothes. I bought books. I studied every night. I wanted to become someone new, someone strong, someone Damon would never recognize. I went to a hair salon. I cut my hair short. The long hair was gone. I looked different now. I looked sharp. I looked professional. I changed my middle name on my papers. I used a different name for work. I became someone else. I saw an advertisement in the newspaper. A big charity organization needed workers. The organization helped poor people. Rich people gave money to this charity. The charity made those rich people look good. I knew Damon wanted to work with this charity. I read about it online. Damon wanted people to think he was kind. He wanted people to forget about the scandal. The charity was his way to look clean again. I applied for a job at the charity. I went to the interview. I wore my best clothes. I spoke clearly. I showed them my ideas. They liked me. They hired me as an assistant. I worked hard every day. I came early. I stayed late. I helped everyone. I solved problems. I made things better. My boss noticed. She gave me more work. She gave me more responsibility. After 1 year, they made me a manager. I organized events. I talked to rich donors. I was good at my job. People respected me. People listened to me. I was not the old Serafina anymore. I was someone new, someone powerful. I changed everything about myself. I learned how to dress well. I learned how to speak well. I learned how to smile at the right time. I learned how to stay quiet at the right time. I became the kind of woman men like Damon wanted, the kind of woman they put on their arm, the kind of woman they showed to the world. But I was not that woman inside. Inside, I was steel. Inside, I was ice. I remembered everything. I forgot nothing. Then came the night of the big charity gala. Rich people from all over the city came. They wore expensive clothes. They drank expensive wine. They wanted to show everyone how generous they were. I wore a black dress. My hair was perfect. My makeup was perfect. I stood near the door. I greeted the guests. I smiled. I thanked them for coming. Then I saw him. Damon walked in. He wore a black suit. He looked older. He had some gray hair now, but he still looked confident. He still looked successful. A woman walked beside him. She was his date. She was not the woman from the TV. This was someone new. Damon walked past me. He smiled politely. He said hello. He did not recognize me. He looked right at me, but he did not know me. I was a stranger to him. I smiled back. I said hello. I welcomed him to the event. My voice was calm. My hands did not shake. He walked away. I watched him go. Something felt good inside. He did not know me. The old Serafina was truly dead. The new Serafina was invisible to him. Later that night, I walked through the room. I talked to donors. I thanked people for their support. Then I felt someone watching me. I turned around. Damon stood there. He stared at me. His face was white. His eyes were wide. He recognized me now. He finally knew who I was. I walked toward him. I kept my smile. I stopped in front of him. I spoke first. "Good evening. Are you enjoying the event?" My voice was different. My whole presence was different. Damon could not speak. He just stared. His mouth opened, but no words came out. His date looked confused. She touched his arm. She asked if he was okay. Damon ignored her. He kept staring at me. "Serafina?" he finally said. His voice was weak. I smiled politely. I acted like we were strangers. I acted like he was just another guest. "I am sorry. Do we know each other?" I saw the shock in his eyes. I saw the confusion. I saw something else too. I saw desire. He wanted to know this new woman. He wanted to understand how I changed. He wanted me, but I did not want him, not anymore. I just smiled and walked away. Damon started calling me the next day. He called my office. He called many times. I did not answer. He sent messages. He sent flowers. I threw the flowers away. He came to my office 1 week later. My secretary told me he waited outside. I made him wait for 2 hours. Then I let him come in. He sat across from my desk. He looked nervous. He tried to smile. I looked at him without emotion. I asked him why he came. He started to talk. He said he was sorry. He said he thought about me every day. He said he made a terrible mistake. He said people forced him to leave me. He said he had no choice. I listened. I said nothing. I just looked at him. My face showed nothing. He kept talking. He said I looked beautiful now. He said I looked different. He said I looked amazing. He said he never forgot me. He said he still cared about me. I knew he was lying. His words were empty. But I let him talk. I let him think I might believe him. He asked me to have dinner with him. I said I was busy. He asked again. I said maybe another time. I did not say yes. I did not say no. I kept him waiting. This became our pattern. Damon called. Damon visited. Damon begged for my time. Sometimes I said yes. Sometimes I said no. I never let him get too close. I never let him feel sure of me. I saw the change in him. He wanted me more each day. He wanted the new Serafina. He wanted the woman he threw away. But now I was different. Now I was the woman he could not have. We had dinner sometimes. We talked about work. We talked about the charity. I never talked about the past. I never asked about his promises. I acted like the past did not matter. This made him crazy. He wanted me to ask. He wanted me to care. But I showed him nothing. 3 months passed like this. Then Damon's world started to fall apart. I read about it in the news first. Damon's company had problems. People said the company lied to customers. People said the company stole money. The news was everywhere. Damon's reputation was in danger. Damon called me that night. His voice shook. He said he needed to see me. He said it was urgent. I told him to come to my apartment. He arrived 1 hour later. He looked terrible. His eyes were red. His hands shook. He sat on my couch. He put his head in his hands. I sat across from him. I waited. I said nothing. He told me about his crisis. He said people blamed him for everything. He said his company would fail. He said his career would end. He said he needed help. I asked him what kind of help. He looked up at me. He said the company was having a big event. It was the anniversary of the company. Important people would come. The media would be there. Damon needed to show people he was a good man. He needed to save his image. He said he needed me. I asked him why me. He said I was perfect. He said people knew our story. He said people knew I went to prison for him. He said if I stood beside him now, people would believe in him again. They would think I forgave him. They would think he was worth forgiving. He wanted me to play a role. He wanted me to be the forgiving wife. He wanted me to stand on stage with him. He wanted me to smile and hold his hand. He wanted me to make him look good. I looked at him for a long time. I did not speak. I watched him squirm. I watched him sweat. I watched him beg with his eyes. Then he said more. He promised me money. He promised me a position in his company. He promised me status. He promised me everything I wanted. He got down on his knees. He held my hands. He begged me. He said he needed me. He said only I could save him. He said we could start again. He said we could be together. I pulled my hands away. I stood up. I walked to the window. I looked out at the city lights. I thought about everything. I thought about the prison. I thought about the baby. I thought about the divorce papers. I thought about the woman in the red dress. Damon kept talking behind me. He kept making promises. He kept saying he loved me. He kept saying he always loved me. I turned around. I looked at him. He was still on his knees. He looked so small now, so desperate, so pathetic. I spoke slowly. I said I would do it. I said I would stand beside him on stage. I said I would speak at his event. Damon's face changed. He looked so happy. He looked so relieved. He stood up. He tried to hug me. I stepped back. I told him I had one condition. I said I would speak the truth. I said I would talk about us. I said I would talk about what he promised me. Damon nodded. He smiled. He said yes. He said anything. He thought I still loved him. He thought I wanted him back. He thought the truth meant I would tell everyone I forgave him. He was wrong. But I let him think he won. I let him believe his lies. I let him walk out of my apartment thinking he was safe. He had no idea what was coming. The night of the event arrived. The ballroom was huge. Gold lights hung from the ceiling. Flowers covered every table. Hundreds of people filled the room. Cameras pointed at the stage. The event was live on the internet. Everyone could watch. I wore a white dress. I looked calm. I felt calm. I knew exactly what I would do. Damon found me before the event started. He looked excited. He gave me a paper. He said it was my speech. He told me to read it on stage. The speech talked about forgiveness. It talked about second chances. It talked about love. I took the paper. I smiled. I put it in my bag. Damon thought I would use it. He was wrong. The event began. Important people made speeches. They talked about the company. They talked about success. They talked about Damon. Everyone clapped. Then Damon walked onto the stage. Everyone clapped louder. He smiled. He waved. He looked so confident. He started to speak. He talked about the company's history. He talked about challenges. He talked about overcoming difficulties. Then he talked about me. He said he wanted to introduce someone special. He said this woman taught him about forgiveness. He said this woman showed him what real love meant. He called me the most forgiving woman he ever met. He asked me to come to the stage. I stood up. I walked slowly to the stage. Everyone watched me. Cameras followed me. I climbed the stairs. I stood next to Damon. He tried to take my hand. I moved away. I walked to the microphone. Damon stepped back. He smiled at the crowd. He thought everything was going as planned. I looked out at the crowd. Hundreds of faces looked back at me. Cameras recorded everything. I took a breath. I began to speak. I said I wanted to talk about a promise. I said promises were important. I said my husband made me a promise once. I said it happened on a cold, rainy night. I told them his exact words. I said he promised to protect me. I said he told me we were one person. I said he told me sacrifice was the proof of love. I said he told me our future depended on my choice. The room was very quiet. People listened carefully. Damon stood behind me. I could feel him getting nervous. I reached into my bag. I took out an old paper. The paper was yellow now, but the writing was still clear. It was the agreement. The agreement I signed that night. Damon thought this paper was destroyed, but I kept it. I kept it all these years. I also took out my old wedding ring, the ring Damon gave me. The ring I took off in prison. I held them up. Everyone could see them. I said I kept my promise. I said I paid the price. I said I gave him my freedom. I said I lost 3 years of my life. I said I lost our baby too. Our unborn child that he never knew about. The room was completely silent now. No one moved. No one spoke. I turned to look at Damon. His face was white. His hands shook. His eyes were wide with fear. I looked back at the crowd. I spoke my last words. I said Damon used my sacrifice to get everything. I said he used my pain to buy his success. I said he used my love to build his career. I said he threw me away when he finished using me. I put the paper and the ring on the podium. I stepped back from the microphone. The room stayed silent. Then whispers started. People looked at Damon. People looked at me. Cameras zoomed in on Damon's face. His mouth opened, but no sound came out. He wanted to grab the microphone. He wanted to speak. He wanted to explain, but he could not move. Everyone watched him. Everyone waited. The truth was out now. Everyone knew what kind of man he really was. I walked off the stage. I walked through the crowd. People moved aside. They let me pass. No one tried to stop me. I walked out of the ballroom. I did not look back. Behind me, I heard noise. People started talking. People started shouting questions. But I kept walking. I was done. I said everything I needed to say. Now Damon had to face the truth alone. I walked to the back of the building. I wanted to leave. I wanted to go home, but Damon found me. He ran after me. He grabbed my arm. I turned around. He looked terrible. His face was wet. Tears ran down his cheeks. He could not stand straight. He fell to his knees. He asked me what I wanted. He said he would give me money. He said he would give me shares in the company. He said he would give me everything. I looked down at him. This man was my whole world once. I loved him more than anything. I gave him everything. But now he looked so small. He looked so weak. He looked pathetic. I still had the agreement paper in my hand. This paper could destroy him. This paper could send him to prison. The police would believe me now. Everyone would believe me now. I looked at the paper. Then I looked at Damon. He waited for my answer. He shook with fear. I tore the paper. I ripped it into small pieces. The pieces fell on the floor. Damon stared at them. He did not understand. I spoke to him one last time. I said I did not need his money. I said I did not need him in prison. I said the best punishment was something else. He had to live with the truth. He killed the only person who truly loved him. He killed her with his own hands. I turned away. I walked to the door. I walked outside. The sun was bright. The air was fresh. I did not look back. Damon stayed inside. He stayed in that big, empty room. He had his money. He had his company. He had everything. But he had nothing that mattered. He was completely alone. I walked down the street. I saw a flower shop. I went inside. I bought flowers for myself, beautiful red roses. I smiled. I felt light. I felt free. My life started now, my real life, the life that was truly mine. Did you enjoy the story? Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to Teddy English Story so you never miss a new upload. Thanks for watching.